Hi, and welcome to my non-commissioned officer professional development video. What I want to talk about today is a little bit different than what I've done in my past videos. I've put up a few informal counseling ones, and they were directed more towards the general populace, and for civilians, for Joes, just for anybody that's having issues in their own life. But this time I want to get more into the professional realm. Get into what does it mean to be a leader in the United States Army or the Marine Corps, Navy, Air Force, whatever it is that you're doing. Or even if you're a civilian manager and you have an office or a clinic or some environment where you are in charge of other people. Okay, so we have all these formal definitions for leadership. We get asked about what it means whenever we go to the board. You might get pinged by your first sergeant on an off-the-cuff conversation, but there's a lot more to it than just knowing an answer. I mean, I can tell you facts and tidbits and trivia all day long, but knowing those pieces of information is not what's going to make me a good NCO or a good leader. Right? So for me, being a leader, I follow this thing I made up. It's the loyalty down breeds loyalty up principle. If the people that work for you, if they know that you have their back, if they know that they can count on you, if they know that you're good at your job, if you show them these things, they're going to be loyal to you in return. Right? I've seen a lot of NCOs, they'll arrive to a new unit or they'll get new people in, and they start telling all these vignettes. Okay, well, I was in Afghanistan during this time, I was in Iraq, and this time I've done this, I've done this, I've done this. But that doesn't do the soldier any good unless you're taking the things that you learned in those environments and giving them to the soldier. You're never going to be judged on the things that you've done in the past. You're going to be judged on what your soldiers or your people are seeing you do now. Now, one of the biggest drawbacks I've seen a lot of is you get these NCOs that they'll direct their soldiers to go out and do a task, and they'll go hide out in their office and just shoot the breeze. Soldiers see that, and it breeds a lot of resentment for you, and it compromises your ability to lead them. They're not going to listen to you if that's what they see. I'm not saying that you have to make yourself part of the trash pickup detail or things like that. What I'm saying is that you need to be taking the skills that you've acquired over the years and showing them off. One of the best examples of this, I had a platoon sergeant of mine. I was a E5 at the time. I was a sergeant, and we'd gone down to do a emergency medical course down in Fort Sam Houston, and he was the first guy doing all these amazing procedures. And we were all just gathered around and just watching how he was doing all these sort of things. And it's like, to me, that built my confidence in him as my platoon sergeant. It built my confidence in him as a mentor, because I could see what this guy was doing. I knew that he was proficient and that he could guide me along the way so I could become proficient. And that is something that I strive every day to make sure that I continue to bring. So even whenever I do become a civilian and become a manager, I never want it to be said that I was hard to find, especially by my workers. Okay. Another thing is, if you have people from outside of your sphere of influence coming and messing with your guys, stand up for them. Right? If you just allow yourself to be steamrolled, you're not going to have any respect from your peers. You're certainly not going to have it from your subordinates. Okay. Now, I'm not saying that you have to be hyper aggressive. Unfortunately, I do have this the tendency to speak my mind at inappropriate times, and it's gotten me into a bit of trouble in the past. But that's not saying that you can't stop by, hey, look, these are my guys. We have a different job than you, so I would appreciate if you come through me, and I'll manage the issues. Okay, that's your job. Your job is to make sure that the people that are under you are performing up to par. You should never have somebody from outside of your sphere of influence coming in to handle the discipline of your guys. Okay. Now I want to talk a little bit about what are some of the things that NCOs are doing that are actually failing their soldiers right now. And unfortunately, I see this a lot in the Army. I'm not really sure how it is in other branches, but one thing that kills me is this obesity epidemic that's facing the Army. Right now, the U.S. Army is the fattest branch of service. Now, it might have to do with the fact that we're also the largest. We have more people to become obese. But you're sitting there, let's say you're a sergeant, you're sitting there and you have busted tape and you just look disgusting. All right? And then you have lost your ability to tell that soldier who's failing his PT test, you've lost your ability to tell him that he needs to get better because you have failed to improve. And that is something that you really need to do is take a look deep inside yourself and ask, what are you doing? How are you getting better? Are you counting your calories? I mean, we have the Army Wellness Center in like almost every military installation now. They sit you in a bod pod. You can find out what your body fat percentage is. They'll customize a workout for you. They'll tell you your macronutrient requirements. You can get a referral to nutritional counseling where you can find your micronutrients. There are so many tools available to you as an NCO. And you've been in for the Army for at least a couple years, and somebody has entrusted you to be in charge. So why are you letting yourself go like that? Okay? Take care of those things. Okay? Make sure that you're learning how to shoot. Make sure that you're learning all of the core competencies of your MOS and show them off. Don't hide knowledge. Knowledge is not something that needs to be hoarded, especially in the Army. People's lives are riding on whether or not you're able to do your job and whether or not everybody else can too. I see a lot of people that they kind of find something that they're particularly good at, so they hold on to that and they keep it for themselves because they know that it's going to get them that staff job that they want or that particular position that they want in the unit. But then they're not training a replacement. They're not training somebody that can do their job if they need to go on leave. I know we talk a lot in the Army about having work-life balance. We had the whole resiliency thing. Sorry, guys, that's a myth. Even in the civilian sector, the most successful people are pulling 10 to 16 hours a day. And we love to thump ourselves in the chest. Oh, yeah, we work 12-hour days. Well, you've also got 2 hours between PT and first formation and an hour and a half lunch. Stop patting yourself on the back and acting like you're there all the time, okay? What I'm talking about, when I'm saying like a 10-hour day, I mean at the not the first PT formation, but the work call formation, and then going 10 to 16 hours from that. All of the best NCOs that I have seen have stayed in the office probably longer than they should have been. Now, I'm not saying that you need to neglect your family or anything like that, but that is something that you do need to have a candid discussion with your spouse about. And they need to understand, hey, these are things that I need to get done. I might be home a little bit late, but go and get those things done. Be a hard worker. And when it's your time off, and take leave. Because of the fact that you are as a successful NCO, because of the fact you are going to be pulling those extra hours, because you are going to be doing that extra work, you're going to need a break. We get 2.5 days of leave every single month, and so many of us are breaking that 60-day, and I'm guilty of it too. I very rarely ever finish a fiscal year without losing a few leave days. But take that leave, spend that time with your family, and when you're with your family, everything else goes away. Okay? Another thing is you got to stop focusing on your career progression. Now, I'm not saying to not worry about what it takes to get to the next level. I'm not saying don't get your DA photo done. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is I've seen a lot of NCOs that can tell you every single regulation in the Army, and they don't know shit about their job. To me, that's very distressing. When you're so focused on getting to that next rocker, or when you're so focused on getting that diamond or that star, you are losing out on a chance to train and build America's Army. you are missing out on chances to create soldiers. Our job isn't to have a 20-year career or 20+ year career and get out on top. Our job is to fight war. That is not something that involves you canceling everything else just because you want to make it to the next rung on the ladder. So look at your NCOER. Look at all those categories on there. Is there anything on there that says, has anybody ever gotten an excellence bullet just because he knows everything about promotions and awards? No. What you need to be focused on is, are you keeping your equipment serviceable? Are you competent in all of your tasks? How are you carrying yourself? How are you taking care of your soldiers? Do your soldiers have access to everything that they need? If you do your job, your career progression is going to fall in place on its own. I made the sevens list about 2 years ahead of the curve for what 68 whiskeys normally make. But I never once did I stop and say, all right, these are the things that I need to do. I've seen people that's all they worried about and did not get picked up. I don't have drill sergeant or recruiter. My career has been built on the shoulders of my subordinates because I had their loyalty and they had mine. I always made an effort to show off what I could do. I went out for my EF&B, got it the first time around. It was tough. It was worth it. My soldiers got to see that. And that let them know, hey, Sergeant probably knows what he's talking about. Okay? I've run clinics. I had to kind of make that job up as I went along. But I got a chance to go down and to each of those hospital side assignments that you would have in the clinic. I got to pick up some from each of those. It was actually Air Force, so there's a bunch of airmen. But I got to pick up a lot of information from them. And those are really cool things. Okay, you need to be focused on the fundamentals. Okay, when I say focus on the fundamentals, I am talking about your tactical movement skills, your setting up an HLZ, setting up CCPs, or whatever it is specific to your MOS. The things that are key for your job. Okay. Once you've mastered the fundamentals, everything else is going to fall in line. Okay. So, it's kind of a short video. My intention wasn't to make it very long. I just kind of wanted to give you a few tidbits and little things that'll help you out in your career as an NCO or a manager. But you need to define for yourself what it means to be an NCO or what it means to be a leader. And then that is something you need to internalize and that you need to live by. Okay? Loyalty down breeds loyalty up. Mm-hmm. Make sure that you are taking care of the guys who are taking care of you. Okay? Look at how you may or may not be failing your soldiers. And don't just beat yourself up, but actually learn and improve from it. Okay? Stop focusing on your career progression. Right? Focus on the fundamentals. If you do these things, you're going to have a good career. I promise you that. Unless you just happen to have like some really shitty luck and you only ever get NCOs and commanders, that's all they care about is how much do you know about the promotion system. Okay? Focus on those things and you're going to do great. Out.